Hello students. Today, we will talk about one of the most famous plays in English literature. This play is called Hamlet, and it was written by William Shakespeare. This video covers characters, summary and themes of the play Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Hamlet is a tragedy, which means it is a serious story with sad events. The play A Hamlet was written by William Shakespeare around the year 1600. William Shakespeare lived in England during a time called the Elizabethan era. This was a time when England was very powerful and the English language was developing. The play takes place in Denmark, a country in Europe. The main character, Hamlet, is the Prince of Denmark. The story happens mostly in a castle called Elsinore, where the Danish royal family lives. The play is written in a special style called blank verse. This means that the lines in the play sound like poetry, but they do not rhyme. Sometimes, the characters also speak in normal sentences, especially when they are talking to someone else in a casual way. Main characters in Hamlet by William Shakespeare. 1. Hamlet. Hamlet is the main character of the play. He is the Prince of Denmark. He is a young man who is smart, thoughtful, and sometimes very sad. Hamlet's father, the king, has died, and Hamlet is upset about it. He is also angry because his mother married his uncle, Claudius, soon after his father's death. 2. Claudius. Claudius is Hamlet's uncle. After the death of Hamlet's father, Claudius becomes the new king of Denmark. He is married to Hamlet's mother, Gertrude. Claudius is the main villain in the story. 3. Gertrude. Gertrude is Hamlet's mother and the Queen of Denmark. She marries Claudius soon after her husband's death. Hamlet feels that his mother has betrayed his father by marrying Claudius so quickly. 4. Ophelia. Ophelia is a young woman who loves Hamlet. She is the daughter of Polonius, one of the king's advisors. Ophelia is sweet and innocent, but she gets caught in the middle of the conflict between Hamlet and the royal family. 5. Polonius. He is a trusted advisor to King Claudius. Polonius is the father of Ophelia and Laertes. Polonius is talkative and likes to give advice, but sometimes his advice is not very helpful. 6. Laertes. Laertes is Ophelia's brother and the son of Polonius. He is a brave young man who loves his family. Laertes plays an important role later in the story. Hence, he is also one of the major characters of Hamlet. 7. The Ghost. The ghost is the spirit of Hamlet's dead father, the former king of Denmark. The ghost appears to Hamlet and tells him something very important, which changes the course of the story. Summary of A Hamlet by William Shakespeare. The play begins on a cold night outside the castle of Elsinore. Some soldiers are on guard duty when they see something strange. They see the ghost of the old king, Hamlet's father. The ghost doesn't speak to them, so they decide to tell Hamlet about it. When Hamlet meets the ghost, he is shocked to see it looks like his father. The ghost speaks to Hamlet and tells him a secret. The ghost reveals that he was murdered by Claudius, who poured poison into his ear while he was sleeping. The ghost tells Hamlet to take revenge on Claudius, but also warns him not to harm his mother, Queen Gertrude. Hamlet is deeply troubled by what the ghost tells him. He is angry and sad but also confused. He doesn't know if he should believe the ghost. Hamlet decides to act as if he has gone mad. He thinks that by pretending to be crazy, he can observe Claudius and find out if the ghost is telling the truth. As Hamlet pretends to be mad, he starts to behave strangely. He talks in riddles and says things that don't make sense. Everyone in the court, including his mother and Claudius, is worried about him. They try to find out what is wrong with Hamlet. Ophelia, who loves Hamlet, is very upset by his strange behavior. Hamlet acts coldly towards her, and she doesn't understand why. Ophelia's father, Polonius, thinks that Hamlet is mad because he is in love with Ophelia, but this is not the real reason. To find out if Claudius is guilty, Hamlet comes up with a plan. He asks a group of actors to perform a play at the castle. The play they perform is similar to the way Claudius killed Hamlet's father. Hamlet thinks that if Claudius is guilty, he will show it when he watches the play. When Claudius sees the play, he becomes very nervous and leaves the room. This reaction convinces Hamlet that the ghost was telling the truth, that Claudius did murder his father. Now, Hamlet knows what he must do. He must take revenge on Claudius. But Hamlet is not quick to act. He hesitates because he is unsure if killing Claudius is the right thing to do. Hamlet is a thinker, and he spends a lot of time reflecting on life, death, and what happens after death. This is when Hamlet speaks one of the most famous lines in the play: "To be, or not to be, that is the question." In this speech, Hamlet is thinking about whether it is better to live or to die, especially when life is full of pain and suffering. While Hamlet is struggling with his thoughts, more tragedy strikes. Polonius, the father of Ophelia, is accidentally killed by Hamlet. Hamlet thought he was killing Claudius, but it was Polonius hiding behind a curtain. This mistake causes even more trouble. Ophelia is heartbroken by her father's death and Hamlet's behavior. She becomes very sad and confused, and eventually, she drowns in a river. Her death adds to the sadness and tragedy of the story. Laertes, Ophelia's brother, is very angry when he hears about his sister's death and his father's murder. He returns to Denmark and wants to take revenge on Hamlet. Claudius, who is also afraid of Hamlet, uses Laertes' anger to his advantage. Claudius and Laertes plan to kill Hamlet during a fencing match. In the final act of the play, the fencing match between Hamlet and Laertes takes place. But this match is not just a sport. Laertes' sword is poisoned, and Claudius has prepared a cup of poisoned wine for Hamlet. During the match, both Hamlet and Laertes are wounded by the poisoned sword. Queen Gertrude accidentally drinks the poison wine meant for Hamlet and dies. Before Hamlet dies from the poison, he finally kills Claudius by stabbing him with the poisoned sword. Hamlet's last act is to make sure that Claudius does not escape justice. After Claudius dies, Hamlet also dies from the poison. The play ends with the arrival of Prince Fortinbras of Norway, who takes control of Denmark. Fortinbras orders that Hamlet be given a proper burial, recognizing him as a noble prince. Themes of a Hamlet, by William Shakespeare. Let's talk about some of the themes in a Hamlet. 1. Revenge. The main theme of a Hamlet is revenge. The ghost asks Hamlet to take revenge on Claudius for murdering him. However, the play shows that revenge can lead to more suffering and tragedy. Hamlet's quest for revenge causes many innocent people to die, including Ophelia, Polonius, and even Hamlet himself. 2. Madness. Another important theme in the play is madness. Hamlet pretends to be mad so that he can investigate Claudius without being suspected. But as the play goes on, it becomes harder to tell if Hamlet is truly mad or if he is just pretending. Ophelia's madness, on the other hand, is real, and it shows the impact of the tragic events on her mind. 3. Death. Death is a major theme in Hamlet. The play begins with the death of Hamlet's father, and many more characters die by the end of the play. Hamlet often thinks about death and what happens after we die. This is especially clear in his "to be, or not to be" speech, where he questions whether life is worth living when it is full of suffering. 4. Corruption. Hamlet also explores the theme of corruption. Claudius' rise to power through murder is a sign of the corruption in the Danish court. The play shows how corruption can spread and lead to the downfall of an entire kingdom. 5. Action and inaction. Throughout the play, Hamlet struggles with the decision to take action or not. He knows that he should avenge his father's death, but he hesitates because he is unsure if it is the right thing to do. This theme is about the difficulty of making decisions when the consequences are so serious. Conclusion. Hamlet, by William Shakespeare, is a play that explores deep and complex ideas through the story of a prince who is faced with difficult choices. It is a tragedy that shows how seeking revenge can lead to more pain and suffering. The play also raises important questions about life, death, and what it means to be truly mad.